Hey friend, it's Juma here. If you follow me on Instagram, you can tell that I love to soak in the wisdom of great books. And since reading is part of my lifestyle, I decided to start sharing here on YouTube the biggest takeaways of the books that I am reading. Rather, they are about personal growth, spirituality, how to create your personal freedom, because it can be very powerful for you as well. Rather, you are someone who just wants to add a new book to your reading list, or if you are someone who just wants to get the best juice out of a certain book in a short period of time. So the first book that I chose is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I think that's how we pronounce it. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing a summary of this book as well as my biggest 3 lessons and how it has impacted my life. The Prophet was my first book on personal growth kind of thing from what I remember. I was 15 years old and it's a book that speaks to people in the different stages of life, and that's why I read it every 2 years or so. I just finished reading last week because every time I read the book there is always something new to learn. And a little bit more about Khalil Gibran, the author. He was a Lebanese American poet and painter who lived mostly in the US and also in Paris, and he was born in the 19th century. The story of the book is about a wise man, the prophet, who is about to set sail back to his homeland after spending 12 years in exile on an island. And as he lives, the people from that land asks him to share his wisdom on the biggest topics of life, including death, including work, family, marriage, and his answers are so profound. The book is a short prose poetry book that you can read in 2 hours or so. And even though it's a short, thin book, I would still recommend you to take your own time to properly digest the nuggets of wisdom that he shares and to slowly chew on all of that content, because it's truly beautiful and life-changing, I would even say. And it's a book that has been translated into more than 50 languages. It has sold tens of millions of copies worldwide and has impacted the lives of many, including history makers like the Beatles, like John F. Kennedy. So I am very confident that this is a book that you could read. And the biggest takeaways that I got from The Prophet are the following. The first takeaway is on love and marriage, and the following is written. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. So the biggest takeaway that I got here is to create spaces in the togetherness of 2 people or of a romantic relationship. I believe that there are as many models of romantic relationships as there are relationships. And why this poem is so important for me, it's because it has shaped my belief system around romantic relationships. I believe, and this is just my belief system, that we are not here to find the other half because we are not a half, but instead we are here and we come together as two whole individuals to rise higher. It's like vinegar and olive oil. You know, we can be yummier together, but we don't really lose our own dreams and individual essence. The second biggest takeaway was on children, and this is what is written. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. I believe that this is beyond parenting, but it's also about our power as humans to create. And the biggest lessons that I got here is, regardless if you are a parent, an artist, an entrepreneur, your creation ultimately does not belong to you. It belongs to the world. It's like you are a vessel that is here to receive the vision, to receive the seed, and then to give it to the world. It's like you are a gardener. Like the tree was not created by you, and your job is to take good care of it, is to kindly water the seed. It is as well to take good care of who you are, because you are somehow responsible to give birth to that creation. And the third takeaway was on joy and sorrow. And he says the following: your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given your sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. The biggest lesson here for me was that, in fact, it's not that sorrow and joy are opposites. It's not that left and right are opposites. It's not that love and fear are opposites. But in fact, they are just two different sides of the same line, which means that if you are experiencing sorrow, it's because you also have that joy. So it's all about understanding that there is a time for everything, and then one doesn't really live without the other. You know, here in Portugal we have a lot this, oh, I'm missing you so much, like the saudade, right? And it's something that causes pain, right? It causes pain, but at the same time we can only miss something because we somehow have it, isn't it? So I guess that there are two ways of looking at something. Or you're looking from a place of abundance, that okay, I'm actually feeling this because I have the opposite. Or you can also look at it from a place of lack, and somehow they are the same. Does that make sense? Concluding, this is for me a 5-star book, and it's a book that I really hold dear. It's a book that has completely change and shift and somehow improve my life. And if you have read The Prophet, I would love to hear from you. What were your favorite poems? What were your favorite or biggest lessons? I would love to hear from you. And if you want to hear more about book reflections, don't forget to subscribe. I would be very grateful for that, and I'll see you in the next video.